guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackey and Judd on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
Write this down.
Write that down.
Write it down. You like writing things down.
Write them down. It's like a personal contract with ourselves.
Hey, wow, we got 2 weeks left, gentlemen, in the Write That Down season here. The 2023-24 Write That Down season. There's a lot more drama on the Purple Daily edition in terms of how close all of us are in the standings. But there was some interesting movement this week in the OG edition of Write That Down, too.
Okay.
Judd's been holding on to a very large lead. Judd's like some of these Timberwolves teams that have like a 16-point lead with 11 minutes to go, 10 minutes to go. We can just kind of shut her down, right? The game's over. We'll just put a bunch of non-shooters on the court and kick our feet up.
Finchy, fire Finchy.
Judd's getting hacked on he's like trying to make his prediction. He's just getting hacked, but no call. You know, like, and the Timberwolves
and I'm just complaining incessantly.
Yeah.
By the way, did you see the last 2-minute report that came out yesterday?
Yes.
Yeah, they said it wasn't a foul.
They said it was marginal contact.
Yeah. Well,
he's literally grabbing Anthony Edwards' forearm and trying to force his body away from the rim. We're calling that marginal contact. Go back and look at the 16 free throws that SGA shot in that game, and I bet you we could call every one of those fouls marginal contact.
I wonder if the Officials Association complained about the report that came out after the Charlotte game.
With 10 incorrect calls in the last 5 minutes.
I wonder if
literally
they
like 10 incorrect
told the league, hey, we didn't agree to this much criticism. Calm down on that. And they're like, SGA, man, we barely hit him. You barely hit him.
And some of it is obviously we're all like, literally all of us are like watching these games in high definition. We got like 60-inch flat screen TVs with super slow-mo replays. And I get it's different than 25. You can say the refs were so much better in the 90s. Well, we were all watching on like 25-inch box Zenith TVs without high def. So it is a little harder when you're, there's a magnifying glass on every call, but be better at your job.
Arm slapping. I've decided arm slapping is it's either hard to see or it's so quick. There's something about because the 2 fouls on Cat that came back on the report from the Charlotte game were arm slaps.
Yeah, but like what you're literally like staring at the play. It is your job to stare
what I think?
At the play.
And I'm not advocating not scoring baskets, but I think the problem is if you continue to try and power through it, what I'm seeing is you're not necessarily getting the call.
So you have to literally stop trying to score.
So if you go down, you'll get the call.
Which is ridiculous because
I agree completely.
You should be trying to convert the
basket.
basket.
To analyze the officiating in the National Basketball Association.
I know. I don't disagree with you. I'm mad at the officials. Anyways, welcome to Write That Down. Every Wednesday here on Minnesota Sports with Mackey and Judd, and a football version on Purple Daily. Here's how it works. If you're jumping in with 2 weeks to go in the season, 3 predictions from everybody each week. They must be quantifiable predictions. Those are really the only parameters. We keep track of 2 statistics, batting averages and home runs for predictions that kind of go above and beyond just a standard hit. And listeners, if you want to be like Shane and participate, you can send Declan a message through the Score North app and we'll get you scheduled here. So let's go through the accountability session, boys. We'll start with Judd, holding a large lead in the batting average category.
Right.
Large lead.
Bad feeling.
Oh boy!
Oh.
I have to change my swing. I might have to change the swing.
Oh, dude. Not a good week for Judd. We'll go through here. You said Kirill Kaprizov would score at least 2 goals in the next 2 games. He had 1 goal in those 2 games. I believe he had 2 games between last week and this week.
Yeah,
and he scored 1 goal, right? Okay.
Yep.
You said your guy, Dick Bramer, 40 years as a Twins
I was shocked
TV
by
broadcaster.
this one. I was shocked in a non-player year as well. This was like the ample opportunity.
Yeah, you said he'd be named to the Twins Hall of Fame this winter.
Stellian, TR in.
So, but he got an award at the Diamond Awards, right? He got
the Carneal Lifetime Achievement Award, which Royce got last year. But I still thought when Dave St. Peter was at the podium last Friday saying this is, no players this year. So I was just waiting for him to say, just a great run as our play-by-play guy on TV, 40 years. And it didn't say it.
Boy, everything you say is just caked in sarcasm and insincerity.
It was 40 years. I mean, it really wasn't because it was sort of,
Yes,
he
I
wasn't.
know. You like to manipulate the 40 years.
It wasn't full time. But anyway, he will get it. He will get it.
You said Tommy Watkins is in his final season as third base coach. You had a couple like Twins coaching predictions here. Well, they didn't make any announcements on any moves. Tommy Watkins was a guest at the Diamond Awards.
I think they announced after the season that they were all coming back, right? So yeah, these have been wrong for a while.
I gave it some time just in case, you know, they made a move.
I had no problem with that.
You said Popkins would be dismissed as the hitting coach. And unless something crazy happens today, you said by this time next year, so by February 1st, 2024, George Payton would be relieved of his duties as the general manager of the Denver Broncos. He is still the general manager of
How
the
did
Denver
that not
Broncos.
happen?
The two Paytons in charge of.
I would have fired him.
So, you went 0 for 5.
Yeah, well,
This might
happens.
change my swing. This might change my swing a little bit now.
Oh, here comes Mackey.
Meanwhile, I've been toiling in last place all season here. Maybe a surge to end the year. I said, we'll start with the bat. I said the Wolves would win Mike Conley's comeback game by at least 10 points. They did not. I told you guys during the Michigan regular season that Jim Harbaugh would be announced as the new head coach of either the Bears or the Chargers sometime by March 1st. Little dinger there.
Okay.
Little dinger there.
Nice. Very nice.
Specific enough.
Beautiful.
I said the Twins would exercise both options on Kepler and Polanco, and at least one of them would be traded by opening day. Here's my question for you guys. 3-item parlays are almost always considered home runs unless it's like your three really obvious things on this show.
Yeah.
Does this qualify as a 3-item parlay here? I think it does. Exercise
why
option
didn't
on
you
Kepler.
give yourself a home run?
I'm just bringing it to the table because I kind of put it out there in two chunks, but
Yeah, it's all one.
it's Kepler, Polanco, and then a
Yeah, it's a
trade
home run. It's a home run.
by opening day.
I would want a home run for this, wouldn't you, Declan?
I think so. I mean, the exercising of the options, I think, was mostly pretty safe. I think those were safe bets. But
They were pretty safe bets. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still a prediction. No, it's a home
I
run.
think it's a Mauer. It's a Mauer pot shot.
Hey, they'll count.
Okay.
I'm here to
So I'm just going
encourage
to
my
go into the
co-hosts.
spreadsheet here and make a little correction there.
Mauer pot shot.
So let's see here. Listeners, 3 things came off the board. Not good. Lincoln said Lamar Jackson would win MVP and the Ravens would make the Super Bowl. James said after the 2023 season, David Popkins would be reassigned in the organization. No faith in David Popkins.
Well, this was made at a time when the Twins were popping up under Popkins.
Wow. Just bringing the puns today. Look at this guy. Look at Sports Dad right now.
Yeah, I am dad jokes, sports dad jokes. Right
Austin said Gunther would win the Rumble and challenge for the world title. That didn't happen. He said Cody would win the Elimination Chamber. Bunch of Royal Rumble predictions. Declan had a really busy week here. At the end of the day, it's not a terrible week because you kind of just held your own batting average-wise, but you said Max Homa would finish ahead of Xander Schauffele, Patrick Cantley, and Colin Morikawa at the Farmers. Schauffele finished 1 stroke ahead of Max Homa.
Just
Them's the
bring
breaks.
in the PGA predictions.
You said The Rock would participate in the Men's Rumble. You said Blake Snell, Cody Bellinger, and Josh Hader would all sign with teams by the end of January. So Bellinger and Snell are still out there, I believe. Right?
Correct.
Okay. You said Jey Uso would be among the final 4 of the Men's Rumble.
Yeah, when he started number 1, I didn't feel too good about this prediction.
He went a long time though.
But
in
he
there.
did go along. I think he was like one of the last 7 or 8. So he still had a pretty good run. But
Hey, hang the banner. Hang the Jey Uso banner. X-Pac will participate in the Rumble. AJ Lee will participate in the Rumble. Don't make wrestling predictions, kids, is the lesson here.
Well,
Although you did say Bailey would win the Royal Rumble. And I think if it wasn't wrestling, we always say that wrestling predictions, it's got to be a really, really like long shot prediction for it to be a home run because I'm not sure if you guys know this, but wrestling does have predetermined outcomes. But you did nail the Rumble winner on the women's side, so that's pretty good. And then you said the Twins would acquire 2 new players to their 26-man roster by month's end. So I have to bring this to Judd, because the wording of this is questionable, and that the Twins don't have a 26-man roster until the season starts. It's an off-season 40-man roster. Like, they don't have there's not a 26-man roster right now, right?
Yeah. I'm fine with it.
Okay. If you wanted to fight it, then we could take it to Lawyer
It's
Chase
the
or something.
spirit. The spirit of the prediction is correct.
To their
right?
main roster, and they did add,
like it's not like it's all slappies. It's a few slappies and then a few guys that are going to be on the roster. No, it's fine.
a buzzer beater there for next couple days. I'm sure some people in the comments might take issue.
They'll get pissed. Yeah,
I feel like that's the sort of thing that we need to call him on when he does it.
Well, but then you're giving.
Yeah,
I would argue
I'm
if somebody hangs themselves out to dry, you know, you can.
Well, yeah,
if you do something, it's part of the game.
If it's stupid, but I mean, like, this is I have no problem.
This is more semantics. Yeah, we don't need to be playing.
I'm not gonna do that, because then I'm not gonna get Declan support when I do something stupid.
Playing the game. All politics. So even with Judd's really bad week, you're still up by what? Almost 40 batting average points here.
Awful week.
So 318 average for Judd. Declan at 281. I have finally jumped out of last place at 271. Listeners at 264. The home run race is still pretty wide open here for the next couple weeks. Listeners at 13. I have 13 as well, because we put that one on the home run board.
Yeah, nice.
Judd with 10 and Declan with 9. All time, Declan has a 358 batting average. Judd leads with 306 hits, and listeners lead with 55 career home runs.
That second and third place is pretty intriguing right now for the regular season. Mm-hmm. 281, 271. Like, Phil, you were awful for a huge stretch.
Yeah. And at this point, I'm much more interested in just taking the solo home run lead in the next couple weeks. So
sure,
I think we're
I'm just saying it's quite a bounce back by you.
It is really impressive.
Like, you were buried in last place.
Thank you.
For like the first 3 months. We sent you down. You gallowed yourself.
Who else? I Brian Doziered. I was irrelevant for the first couple months.
You were Mendoza.
I bounced back. I was Max Kepler.
You were.
Max Kepler. Yes, thank you. Thank you, everyone. All right, let's get Shane in here.
Yeah, let's.
Shane's our guest listener predictor here, making his debut on the show. I think we may have lost Declan here, so we may have to.
Are we losing Declan, or are we losing Shane?
Adjust on the fly. Let me see if I can bring Shane in. Okay, Shane, do you hear us? Okay.
Yep, I got you guys.
All right, we got Shane. When did you become a Minnesota sports fan, Shane?
So, my story. Sorry, I'm a little bit sick, but
a little bit emotional.
I was actually I was born in this. Going all the way back to the roots, I guess. So I was born in Canada, and then I actually moved to Michigan when I was 2. So growing up, I didn't watch the NFL really, but I watched a lot of college football, and my favorite team was Michigan State. And then from there, I liked Kirk Cousins, and then he was drafted to the Redskins, so I kind of followed him there, and then followed him to the Vikings when he signed in. Was 18. Mm-hmm. So I've been a fan for 6 years now.
So you've migrated to Minnesota sports through Kirk Cousins as a vessel here.
Not all Minnesota sports, just like the Vikings, yes. But
okay.
I mean, I'm sure you guys will get a kick out of this. I'm a Blue Jays fan, so I got to watch the Blue Jays Twins series this past season. For the playoffs, that was fun. I'm a Leafs fan for hockey. But yeah, besides that. Just Vikings in terms of Minnesota sports.
Hold on a second. So you elected, if I've got this right, because Cousins came here in 2018, you adopted a football team that essentially is like your hockey team.
Yep, very much. My entire.
Are you a glutton for punishment?
I mean, honestly, I'm sure the Leafs are kind of like the NHL Cowboys at this point. It's just regular season juggernauts, really. And then when playoffs come around, we just do nothing. So
1967, dude. 1960s. I wasn't even born, and I'm old.
I know. My friends love telling me about it. They're all, obviously it's Michigan, so Lions fans and Red Wings. Well, I guess Lions fans don't have much to talk about, but I was I was in the same boat as Declan, where I really wanted the Lions to lose because the last thing I wanted was a bunch of Lions fans being all cocky and stuff. So
Yeah, it's like the Lions. They're like the kid in middle school who grew like 5 inches over the summer, and they're all cocky coming back to school now.
yeah.
Okay, we'll see what happens. So Shane, we're gonna start with you. Give us your first prediction, then we'll go Judd, Declan, me. We'll make 3 trips around the room here. Fire away,
Write
man.
it down. You like writing things down.
Okay, so because I'm a certified Cousins Crusader, my first prediction will be Kirk Cousins related, and write that down. Regardless of the team that he plays on, Kirk Cousins will win Comeback Player of the Year in the 2024-25 season.
Wow. I'm trying to think of the other candidates for Comeback Player of the Year right now.
Burrow.
Aaron Rodgers.
Ryan Tannehill when he starts for the Vikings after Cousins goes to the Falcons. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers as a Jet, they're going to be itching to give him that unless he gets hurt again.
Write this down.
Judd.
All right. So we have 2 weeks left, correct? That's what you said, Phil, in the regular season of the.
Yep, we
write
have
that down.
6 predictions left, basically.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, let's just say I'm going to bench myself for 2023, 24.
Coward.
I don't even know if I got 6 predictions right and you got 6 predictions wrong, if I would even be able to jump it.
Yeah, good point, but I'm not trying to find out.
Mathematically. Here,
You've
let me
clinched it,
do the
right?
math. Let's see here.
Judd,
Judd, do you want to know if you've mathematically clinched?
Well, sure.
Let's give Judd
I'm not going to change
6.
my predictions.
Well,
just 'cause
but there could be other predictions that come off the board too from before. But let's just give you 6 incorrect predictions just for fun here.
Okay.
Your batting average would go down to 306, which would still be 20. And then let's give Declan 6 correct predictions, just to see. Just to see if there's any drama here. Okay.
Well, there's got to be some drama.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My little trusty spreadsheet.
All right.
You guys should see this thing.
Spreadsheet.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay. If Declan went, and this doesn't count for other predictions coming off the board,
Right.
Not including the 6 this week, next week. If you went 0 for 6 and Declan went 6 for 6, Declan would be 2 points above you in the batting title race.
See? I got to be careful. Anyway, these predictions.
This is very cowardly. What's happening?
No. These predictions are also because I sat down with my crystal ball, and it's more fun for me to look into the future. So write this down. The Wild will trade at least 2 players on their current NHL roster by the March 8th trade deadline.
Okay.
So at least 2. They'll find a way to move. I was going to say 1, but I think I'll be shocked if they don't move 1. 2's more fun. Test Billy Guerin. 2 players.
Okay. Cowardly. Sorry.
Write this down.
Sorry, I just had a little phlegm.
Anderson won the ERA title by doing this.
Alan Anderson.
They said, "You want to pitch?" He's like, "Nah, I'm good. I got the ERA title."
But baby. Alan, it's August 13th. I'm qualified. I'm good to go.
I'm good. I'm very qualified.
All right, over to Declan here, dude. By the way, I normally chide Declan for making bunt predictions. I fully support Declan trying to catch Judd here and the write that down karma, God striking down.
I'm with you totally on this.
Well, I'm going to go for more of a home run here on this one because I just haven't liked my year in general either. So I'm definitely not going to start squaring and bunting. I haven't liked. I got to go back to the drawing board. And if I win this batting average,
you're like Chris Finch.
Race,
you've had a disgusting and immature season.
Yeah, I don't know. Get me out of center field and make me permanent DH. Something's got to happen here, or maybe put me back in the outfield because I've been DHing. One of the two. So write this down. The Mavs are without like every major player this tonight against the Wolves. The spread in this game is 13 points. I think I made this same prediction 2 weeks ago against Detroit, but the Wolves will beat the Mavericks by at least 20 points tonight.
That's a homer. I think
20-point win for the Wolves.
If you predict a 20-point win in the NBA, it's generally a home run. Okay.
Write this down.
Okay. Let's go here. Because I'd like some home runs to solidify that lead. So let's go with this. The NBA trade deadline is next week. The Timberwolves will acquire one of these 2 players, at least one of these 2 players specifically, because if they land both, I don't want to get burned on the wording here. I don't think they would land both, but Royce O'Neal or Monte Morris. They will land one of those two players. Morris, some familiarity. So they're both those guys have some familiarity with the front office, Tim Connolly, or with pieces of the roster like the Utah guys from a couple years ago. And they both can shoot threes. They both can make some plays. They can defend a little bit. They make some sense for the Timberwolves. Okay, back to Shane.
All right. So my second one, Arthur Smith is, I don't know if it's been confirmed already, but it's I think it has been confirmed that he's signing as the OC for the Steelers.
Yeah.
And everywhere he goes, it seems like everything just deteriorates. So write that down. The Steelers will have their first losing record under Tomlin in the 2024-25 season.
Wow. That'll be a wrap, huh? Off the record, do you think that would lead to him no longer being the Steelers coach one way or another?
That's a good, I guess I have a question for you. Would it still count if he gets fired in the middle of the season?
Yeah. We can craft it that way. Yeah.
Okay.
I think
go ahead.
Oh, off the record, you're saying. Off the record. Right?
I mean, I don't know. I guess it's up to you guys. I probably should have worded it better.
He's saying if, let's say the Steelers get off an 0-6 start and they fire Mike Tomlin.
Oh, right? Yeah. Ooh, yeah. It would just be whatever his record is. So if they start 4-3, and I don't know how that would happen, and I don't think he would get fired if they're above 500, but then technically you'd be wrong. But it's whatever his record is in the season, because he wouldn't get credit for the other wins and losses.
Okay.
Write this down.
But I will say, to answer your question, I don't know if it gets him fired because, that's a crazy record to not have a losing season under the same guy for, I think this is his 18th season. So, I don't know. I'd have a tough time. If I was a Steelers fan, I wouldn't want him fired. But off the record, I don't think it does.
Okay. Okay, back over to Judd here for your second prediction.
I don't believe there's been news from the NBA yet about Ant Edwards' comments towards officiating. So since that has not been the case, you can write this down. Ant Edwards will be fined $15,000 or more for those comments.
Oh, look at Alan Anderson coming in. Alan Anderson.
Paul George, who previously had criticized officiating and was fined again for it, it was $35,000. Steve Kerr was $20,000. Ant put himself in the jackpot though by basically saying it was 5 against 8.
Would he also potentially get fined? He didn't try to say this on a microphone, but he was caught saying cheating ass refs on camera.
I think he's not going to get fined as much as possible because of the fact he doesn't have a track record on this, but I think they're going to come down on him with a substantial fine based on his actual comments.
Cheating ass refs.
Write this down.
All right, Declan.
All right, I'll make a Wolves prediction too. Write this down. The Wolves will acquire a player through the buyout market that was a former NBA All-Star.
Ooh. Little Gordon Hayward, maybe?
Yeah, Gordon Hayward. I don't think
Chris Paul,
but I don't know if it'll be Chris Paul. But yeah, they'll acquire a former NBA All-Star in the buyout market. So if it's a trade, this wouldn't count. But in the buyout market.
Okay, write this down.
Write this down.
So on the Anthony Edwards front, I think officials are going to get the message here. I don't think they're going to be vindictive. I think they're going to. It's very obvious that he's getting screwed on some of these. I think so. I did the math on this. He has only shot 12 or more free throws in 10% of the Wolves games this year. So in 90% of games, he doesn't get to the line 12 times. SGA got to the line 16 times, I believe it was, in that last matchup. So write this down. The 10% will hit tonight. 12 free throws or more. 12 free throw attempts or more for Anthony Edwards. Write it down.
Write this down.
Okay. It is tonight, right? They're playing tonight?
Yeah.
I don't want to get
tonight, Friday,
okay.
Sunday.
Okay. Back over to Shane for your third and final prediction.
All right, so this is probably a bit of a, I'm not going to say a layup, but I feel like every Minnesota, at least Vikings fan, wants this to happen and can very easily see, not easily see this happening, but can see it happening. Write that down. I think Jefferson becomes the first receiver to get 2,000 receiving yards in a season next year.
Nice. Very nice.
Man, yeah, he's gonna look great in that Chiefs uniform too. You know, when the Vikings can't come to terms on it, it'd be a lot easier to
What
get
a troll.
to.
What a troll.
You love
I'm
the
just,
abuse.
I'm just playing around.
You love the abuse.
When Kwesi trades him for 2 7th-rounders.
Oh man, I don't think even Kwesi would give up that much value. But Shane, hey, since you've got this life-changing platform right now, you did a great job with your predictions. Is there anyone in your life you'd like to thank that brought you to this peak moment?
I guess I don't know, my parents, I guess, they didn't get me into football or anything, but, they provided me the opportunity to play football and obviously watch sports and stuff growing up. So just, I was born in Ontario, so they made me Leafs fans, sadly, or a Leafs fan, sadly. So, and then I introduced football to them, so they became Lions fans at the best time ever. So, I guess I'd like to thank them, even though I envy them and their superior football teams. And I appreciate you guys for having me on and all the content that you bring for Vikings fans.
Awesome, man. And I don't mean to be judgy here, but you look like you play some ball. Do you play football?
So I played here at I go to Concordia University, Ann Arbor, the best football program in Ann Arbor, I will say.
You
guys don't need cheating scouts.
So you don't scout games is basically what you're saying.
Yeah. Also, just real quick, I know a lot of people love JJ McCarthy to the Vikings. I see that a lot. I don't. I badly don't. I was a State fan growing up, obviously, but I really don't want to see JJ as a Viking. But I played defensive end and then eventually moved to defensive tackle here. And then I had to stop playing because I had to focus on school.
Yeah. Well, if you can get an interior pass rush, the Vikings could actually use some help. So maybe get back out there and start training. Awesome stuff, Shane, and we'll get you on again sometime. All right, man?
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
There he is. Shane, guest listener predictor, doing a great job. Before we make our 3 final predictions, boys, a shout out to our friends at Zero Res. If you love a clean house or if you've been neglecting cleaning your carpets, your air ducts, Zero Res is here to get the job done for you. A 4.9 out of 5-star rating on Google with over 17,000 reviews. Call Zero Res today or go to ZeroResMinnesota.com and ask for the Score North special, which is 3 rooms, 0 resified, starting at just $119. And this month, take $75 off when you get your air ducts Zero Res clean. Ask for that Score North special, 952 Zero Res or ZeroResMinnesota.com. Spell it forward or backwards, it spells the same. Zero Res. Okay.
Write this down.
Judd.
All right. One final, at least write that down, about now former twin Jorge Polanco. Once an Iron Man, now 30 years old and breaking down. Jorge Polanco will miss 25 or more games this season with Seattle while on the injured list.
Okay. It's a pretty safe one.
Not just arbitrary, but I'm putting him, I think he's going to make at least a couple trips. He's going to miss 25 or more games while on the, what used to be called the DL, now the IL.
Kicking a guy on his way out.
Write this down.
No, I'm not. I'm taking advantage of his recent injury woes is what I'm doing. Playing the game.
Declan?
All right, write this down. I'll make a Twins one too. The Twins will acquire a player with at least 150 career home runs between now and opening day.
Jorge Soler.
Soler have 100? He's got to have 150.
Santana. Duvall, I believe, is over that threshold. This originally was 200, and then I looked and was like, oh, wow, 200 home runs is a lot of home runs.
It is a lot of home runs. Yeah.
I lowered this to 150, and I'm using acquire just in the event that there's a trade too. But they will acquire a player with at least 150 career home runs, so naturally this will come in at like 143. But they'll acquire a big bat here between now and opening day. Write it down.
Yeah, Falvey's been open. He's like, we're going to make another move. We've got some money burning a hole in our pockets. So we'll see what they do. Okay, final prediction.
Write this down.
Another Anthony Edwards prediction. Only one time this season has he dropped 40 points in a game, and it was against Dallas on December 28th. So write it down. Anthony Edwards scores at least 40 points in this game tonight.
Against the G League Mavericks.
That is correct. He's dropping 40. He's dropping 40. He's going to get to the line. He's going to be on a mission tonight to feast on this team. So there you go, boys. One more week left. Can Judd hang on to this batting average lead here? And there's even more drama in the Purple Daily edition of Write That Down, which we will also hit on today. So thanks for hanging out with us here. We're the only show dumb enough in America to actually put stats next to our predictions every single Wednesday. It's Write That Down.